moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow.
Oh yes, my Straight Dog family, you hear that theme song and you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to say greetings to the entire world and welcome you to Straight Talk, a public service program that's heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 to 10 in the p.m. And we reach and touch you right from here in the beautiful Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, two beautiful islands and one lovely paradise. And so we say welcome to all, and more particularly good night to St. Kitts and Nevis, and to the entire Caribbean region. As a matter of fact, I say greetings, as I said before, to the world, because we are on the World Wide Web, and we reach and communicate with you all over the globe in the Kittitian, Nevisian, and Caribbean diaspora around the globe. Some of you are in Africa. Some of you are in Europe. There's some of you in Asia. And I know there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I am at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning. And I will also say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And we normally have first timers, so I must welcome the first timers and thank all those who continue to share the link, because when you do, we get first timers. And for the first timers, Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. And if you love it, go tell the whole world. If you don't, find me, tell me, so I can improve on whatever deficiency you may recognize. But on this program, we try as well to raise the level of national, regional, and international consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for continuing to bless me with the opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I always hasten to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. Yes, We do not water down anything on this program. And this is for the first timers in particular. We do not water down anything on this program to make it more interesting, neither by omission or by exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism, my people. It's not about creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we always lean on the facts. As I consider it my bounden duty to present what I call at all times the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, transparency, accountability, here in St. Kitts and Nevis and wherever you are listening to me at this time. Because this program joins us together with people across the Federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora around the world. And some we know very well. Some we have met physically and otherwise. And others we do not know and we may never ever meet physically. Some of us will agree on the positions of truth we try to advance on our programs, and some will disagree. That's obvious, because we are a different people and we entertain what I call a diversity of views. And that's fine. We can disagree. But please, it will sadden me if ever we start to become disagreeable. But in the meantime, let's thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. This is therefore hope and pray for that day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my Straight Talk family, and thanks for those who continue to share the link. As you bring first timers, please continue to do so. And I always remind you as well that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. There comes a time in the program where you can, so to speak, have your say. The numbers are on your screens. 663-6672 is the local number, and or 646-829-6672 is that overseas number. And there are a lot of you I know who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. You do not want to be heard. You're afraid. You are afraid to disagree. So you want to hide behind your keyboards and stay anonymous. And that's fine as well. We give you access via our email platform. And the address is also on your screens. Some say it's a little bit fine, but it is, by the way. Straight Talk Patches. That's one word. STRAIGHTTALKPATCHES patches@gmail.com. Straight Talk is also heard live on Alexa. And you have that access to Alexa. Just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. We continue to thank the owner for affording us or providing us access at a nominal cost. And those of you who have made donations, as we talk about costs, some of you may have made donations to support our efforts on Straight Talk. And for that I say a big, big thank you. And no matter your contribution, no matter the size, we accept it. Because it helps us to continue this very important service. Even if it's $1, believe me, we accept it. Yes, it's a public service. So others may wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screen to access the payment form. So we thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. And we cannot have a Straight Talk without recognizing and welcoming my Straight Talk Junior Brigade. Jackie is new on the list. And we can't forget young Dwayne, Tristan, Shema, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis Javon, Neema, my grandson, and his good friend Soraya. If I don't hail Neema, I'll be in trouble, believe me, for the rest of the night. I was my special lady in St. Louis. And we can't forget that Queen in Texas. Thanks for the greetings a few days ago. And we always move into what I call our observations in review. At this time, we highlight current issues. We do some reflection, and we also ask a few questions. What was accomplished? How it helped others? What changed since? And what is expected next? And what new we have learned as a people? Because here it's a learning process. As we live, we learn, they say. And after our observations, we will move right in our usual thesis mode. And for tonight, I've titled my thesis, Mark Can Run, But He Can't Hide. He's been trying to hide for some time now. So please do not change your platform, your link. Spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and Alexa. And I have one observation tonight. One observation, yes. Because recently I saw some information being circulated on social media that seem to suggest that a move is afoot to apparently evict well-known Kittian businessman Reginald Francis of St. Kitts Marine Works, SKMW, from a 25 or 26 acre plot of land, I think it is, over there at New Guinea. And if memory serves me well, a plot of land that he has occupied for now 25 or 26 years. And that's a long time. The company has facilitated many repair and has also facilitated shelter for many a vessel. Ironically, his customers include the St. Kitts Nevis Coast Guard, the Customs, and the customs vessels and the Coast Guard has been in that yard for almost time immemorial, my Straight Talk family. And what I don't seem to understand is that and Straight Talk can only surmise that, and having listened to the content of a video rather, that is currently making the rounds in St. Kitts and Nevis and beyond, I believe that Straight Talk has an obligation. Straight Talk has an obligation to clarify and correct the records. We do have an obligation, like I said, to clarify and correct the records. Because Mr. Francis spoke to St. Kitts Marine Works undertaking revetment at the Old Road Bay at Port Zante, first of all, I should say, and rehabilitation work at the Old Road Fisheries Complex. As a matter of fact, he said this, my Straight Talk family.
I did a lot of work, including the revetment at Port Zante. For 3 years, I worked on that. I mined stones in the quarry. I was actually in the quarry for 14 years, mining stones, drilling, blasting. I'm in the army. I'm explosives. I won't say expert. I deal with explosives. So I was able to mine the rocks and get the rocks where other people could not get the rocks. So we did Port Zante. We further went on to build the Old Road Fisheries. Now, during the Old Road Fisheries, it was supposed to be a 5-month contract for $6.2 million. But the reason why it was expensive because the rocks were over 10 tons, in most cases 20 tons, and they had to be placed like 20 to 30 feet out at sea in the seabed. Obviously, a little backhoe can't do that. So I was required to acquire a very large excavator. Luckily, I had that equipment. I was able to use it. And those are the tools of my trade, being in the quarry for that time. So the project was supposed to be 5 months. The government was supposed to supply the stones. The government of the day did not supply the stones. They instead of 5 months, it took them 36 months. Now, during that time, I tried to take my machines out because I had a job offer in Dominica, which was a very lucrative job offer, but I was not allowed to take my machine out because of the contract. I guess the government was afraid of how it would look. If the work slowed down and the machine was taken out, it looked like, oh, that's another government project failed.
Well, my Straight Talk family, the opposition, I said the opposition, the government, they act like opposition sometimes, yes, have used their mouthpiece to spread rumors. And you heard Mr. Francis talking about projects failing. Well, under Team Unity, projects never failed. And this is not being boasting. In the 5 years of Team Unity that I was there, I can speak to that time, we implemented so many projects, never ever seen in St. Kitts and Nevis. But Straight Talk can only surmise that this broad, inclusive statement was deliberately made for obvious reasons. And as one who always put country above party, it is very hard for me to ignore this proposition. So for the sake of the accuracy of the records, therefore, St. Kitts Marine Works did absolutely no revetment work at Port Zante during my tenure as Minister of Public Infrastructure from 2015 to 2020. None. As a matter of fact, for those who peddle the nonsense, St. Kitts Marine Works had absolutely nothing to do with the construction of Pier 2 at Port Zante, or to put it more clearly, SCASPA, the St. Christopher Air and Support Authority, under my watch, had no contract with St. Kitts Marine Works related to the construction of Pier 2, or as most people say, the second cruise pier. The records would reflect, however, that the company named Cavaro Limited was initially contracted in 2002. Hear me. Cavaro Limited was initially contracted in 2002 by the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Government or Administration to do the revetment at Port Zante, but never completed the works. The people of Maurice Paul Drive, I think it's called, at Ponds Pasture, would recall the serious damage that was done to that stretch of road by the heavy-duty rocks belonging to Cavaro heavy duty trucks, beg your pardon, belonging to Cavara Limited that carried 14-ton rocks, armor rocks, that were used for the revetment. Now, Reverend Francis in 2015 presented a case to the ministry claiming that he was granted permission by Earl Asim Walters Martin to mine rock in the government quarry. You heard him say he was there for 14 years. But Reggie never provided the relevant documentation to support his claim, the authority, as we would say, given to him to mine those rocks. To reiterate the facts, Reginald Francis had absolutely nothing to do again with Pier 2 at Port Zante. Scasper never entered into a contract with St. Kitts Marine Works regarding Pier 2 at Port Zante. But with respect to the Old Road Fisheries Complex project, there were no issues with that project, as the pertinent documents would confirm that it was 100% complete by the Stray Dog family. Mr. Francis collected his retention without hesitation, and as far as I can recall, and the records reflect that, as far as I can confirm, I should say, without any controversy whatsoever. And we have provided the evidence for your perusal, my Stray Dog family. There is the evidence for your perusal, and it is very clear. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis, attention, George Gilbert was Director of Public Works. Dear Sir, and the caption, Fisheries Complex Old Road Reconstruction of Breakwater. Certificate Recommendation Number 10, Retention Release. And you hold that retention monies so for a period of time to indemnify the customer, yes, the client, against any defects. And it reads, my Stray Dog family, read with me. We hereby submit payment recommendation number 10 in the amount of $263,358.74 in favor of St. Kitts Marine Works based on the attached claim submitted. And the claim is attached and copied to Reggie Francis as well. And you can glean from the claim on the right side of your screen that the retention was released, the balances there, and no balance was there, matter of fact. So it tells you that this was a final claim and there was no issue whatsoever. And I think it is important for me to make that point so we can have the records reflecting accuracy and truth. And this information is part of the files of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. It is, however, very unfortunate, I will add, though, that this long saga has now turned in what seems like a calculated effort to evict Mr. Francis from the property that he has occupied for 25 or 26 years. And after he had received permission in principle to embark upon a development of a port in that very area. I must confess, my Stray Dog family, that I had my own reservations. And although I had my own reservations, I was part of the collective decision, meaning the cabinet decision that was approved. And I must also add that it is painful, somewhat painful, to now witness the displacement of St. Kitts Marine Works by this Nigerian company, which speak volumes to the kind of government that is currently running the affairs of our beloved country. Who would believe, my straight dog family, that this Nigerian company has moved in or is about to move in and displace St. Kitts Marine Works? Reginald Francis spoke about an eviction letter if certain claims are not dropped. But the dice has rolled. You can glean from your screens that Samuel Duggins, what role is he playing? Not the way he's now in port business, but he's traveled thousands of miles by private jet. Thousands of miles, my straight dog family, by private jet to seal the deal. And you can glean from your monitor one more time that this deal is sealed as this Nigerian company has received some $40 million according to this information, to construct a deep water port in St. Kitts at the same location where that is now being occupied by St. Kitts Marine Works. I can only empathize, my straight dog family. I can only empathize with Reginald Francis. That's all I can do. But my straight dog family, I thought I had to bring some clarification to this matter. But going forward, that is left to the party that Reginald Francis supports, and I could feel it. My grandmother had a way of saying, when your own allies bite you, it bites you very hard. I remember when government changed in 2022, I can see Reginald with his gun pretending to be the security for Prime Minister Joe. I'm not making a fool of him. I'm not laughing. As I said, I can only empathize with the situation that now exists. Because, my straight dog family, it is obvious that plans are afoot to displace Reginald Francis and the St. Kitts Marine Works from that area is occupied for well over a quarter of a century. And that's my observation for tonight, my straight dog family. And I will move right into my thesis, which I have labeled, as I said, Mark can run, but he can't hide. And as a son of this soil, St. Kitts and Nevis, I continue to be deeply concerned for the soul of our beloved islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our ancestors toiled on the land. They fought for it. Some died on it. And now, sadly, in the cover of secrecy, behind closed doors, your birthright, my birthright, our birthright is being bargained away. The Premier, Mark Brantley, who was elected to serve you, the people of Nevis, has instead chosen to serve himself his wife, and a billionaire friend with a luxury yacht and a questionable past. While you and your families struggle to pay bills, to afford proper health care, and come Monday to send your children to school, the Premier and his wife vacation on a floating palace, I call it. The Premier and his wife vacation on a floating palace, my Straight Talk family. Yes, they did. They did vacation on this floating palace, like I said. And what happened after is something that we will speak about for a long, long time to come. My Straight Talk family, in 2023, they both went to the Mediterranean and vacationed on this luxurious yacht, my Straight Talk family. This luxurious yacht. And what happened thereafter is history. While on the yacht, Premier Brantley posted this on his Facebook page. Relaxing in the Mediterranean. And as if they love yachts. On another occasion here is his wife, Sharon M. Brantley, on a yacht. Up in the Pacific, I think this is. And my Straight Talk family, out of that yacht meeting came a dangerous deal. An agreement to corporatize or privatize our land without your consent and without your knowledge, my Straight Talk family. And it came to us in a broadcast with this story, my Straight Talk family. It came to us with this broadcast.
My fellow citizens and residents, I address you this evening to explain to you recent legislative developments in the National Parliament of St. Kitts and Nevis, touching and concerning the Special Sustainability Zones Authorization Law, passed with unanimous support in the Parliament on Monday, 11th August 2025. I address you at this time because the Nevis Island Administration has been formally approached by an investor seeking to establish such a zone on the island of Nevis. That investor is a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. Matters are now under active discussion at the cabinet level, and no decisions have been arrived at. It is, however, important that I keep the Nevisian public fully abreast of developments to date.
And my Straight Talk family, we finally found out who is this investor. After he was pushed and pushed, he had no alternative but to release the details about this investor, my Straight Talk family. And I like how this young lady, whoever she is, cool and calm and collective, she pulled this out from Mark Brantley, because my Straight Talk family, he was hiding. But like I said, he can run, but he cannot hide, my Straight Talk family. And eventually he had to release this information to the public when he said this and Straight Talk family.
To know the name of the developer for
the developer, I am not certain what name the developer is going to go under, but I know that they're using the name of South Nevis Limited or Nevis South Limited, something like that. It's a company, a local company. I think it's South Nevis Limited. That's
a local company by a citizen, correct?
I'm sorry?
A local company run by a citizen?
Yes, the person has advised that they have St. Kitts Nevis citizenship, yes.
I see. And what is their name?
The gentleman who we've been dealing with is a gentleman named Olivier Jansen, Jansen. He's been the primary person that we've been dealing with, but he has a very large team running to probably 60 or 70 people working with him.
My Straight Talk family, he pretends he don't know. We provided you that information of Mr. Jansen. And it's the same citizen on whose yacht he spent his vacation in the Mediterranean. And my Straight Talk family, what happened after leaving the Mediterranean? What happened is his wife, Sharon Brantley, according to him, Sharon M. Brantley, went to work. And as he called it, she was the go-between Olivier Jansen, according to Brantley. He said this.
To know the name of the developer for
the developer, I am not certain what name the developer is going to go under, but I know that they're using the name of South Nevis Limited or Nevis South Limited, something like that. It's a company, a local company. I think it's South Nevis Limited. That's
a local company by a citizen, correct?
I'm sorry?
A local company run by a citizen?
Yes, the person has advised that they have St. Kitts Nevis citizenship, yes.
I see. And what is their name?
The gentleman who we've been dealing with is a gentleman named Olivier Jansen, Jansen. He's been the primary person that we've been dealing with, but he has a very large team running to probably 60 or 70 people working with him.
And my Straight Talk family, he said, his wife is the go-between. These were his words, my Straight Talk family, and forgive me for that error. But you know, to err is human. But this is what he said, my Straight Talk family. Again, he can run, but this lady never allowed him to hide.
My question is,
or this gentleman, sir.
The basically, what should I call it? A list or whatever there is, a client relationship list between the developer and any firm to remove any perception of bias.
So you want a list of what? Because the developer is a company, as I believe it's called South Nevis Limited, and that company is working with my wife and others who are reaching out to people and asking people if they're minded to sell their land.
Okay.
So who do you want to see on that list?
Okay. So just trying to confirm. I don't want to misunderstand what you just stated. You just stated that your wife's real estate company is working with the developer to have the land sold or whatever it is in that area?
To reach out to landowners, bearing in mind, as I said, that the lands over there are private, and to ask them if they're minded to sell their land. So she's acting as a go-between between her client, who's the developer, and landowners, and asking if they're minded to sell their land.
The go-between, his billionaire friend Olivier M. Jansen. So he went to vacation on this yacht. He came back, and his wife automatically became the go-between the developer, we now know is a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. And let me be clear, my Straight Talk family, because Mark Brantley came to the public on Monday and again last evening, and he tried to spin. And no matter what spin he tries to put on to this issue, this will always and was always a sustainable land grab. They say it's for development, and they whisper sustainable economic zones. Those are the buzzwords, my Straight Talk family. And this is what he said about sustainable economic zones.
Now, what is a special sustainability zone? The idea of special economic zones is not a new idea. They exist in most developed economies in the world. Globally successful examples exist in China, India, Singapore, and in Dubai. In the Caribbean, these zones have existed in Jamaica from as early as the 1970s, and the Cayman Islands officially launched its SEZ on the 3rd of February 2012. Globally, these zones are characterized by significant tax incentives, dedicated infrastructure, and a specific legal framework.
And my Straight Talk family, he explained these zones for us. China, India, Dubai. But he never told us, my Straight Talk family, that in Barbados, for example, Mayor Motley planned and at a Chamber of Industry and Commerce meeting some years ago, Mayor Motley announced that her government was going to embark on a similar economic exercise. Mayor Motley, as reported by the Barbados News, did in fact announce that a free zone was coming to Barbados. But he never mentioned as well that in Honduras, there was also a free zone in Honduras, which was eventually repealed by Straight Talk family. That free zone in Honduras was repealed by the Castro government in Honduras. And he never said that. Never kept us abreast with what's happening around the world. And that is what Straight Talk is all about. We keep you informed, and we make certain that we bring you the evidence. Whatever is the evidence, we make certain that we bring that evidence to you, my Straight Talk family.
In a landmark move, Honduran President Xiomara Castro has outlawed the creation of special economic zones. The Organic Law of Employment and Economic Development Zones was repealed on April 26th. Called the ZA Law or the ZEDE Law, Castro stated that it violated the country's national sovereignty. It had also put the Guaruta Reserve, the Plurano River, Al Patuca, and Entres Rios at risk. The president added that joint work with local communities was necessary to preserve forest areas. Passed in 2013, the ZA law was heavily promoted by right-wing US-backed former President Juan Orlando Hernandez. It paved the way for the creation of special zones which were exempt from certain national taxes and laws. President Castro had pledged to push for its repeal as part of her electoral campaign. On April 21st, the country's unicameral Congress unanimously repealed the law. The chamber reiterated that the legislation had violated the Honduran constitution and its sovereignty. Special economic zones were given administrative, monetary, budgetary, and fiscal autonomy. They also had their own independent judicial bodies. The law allowed for these zones that were promoted internationally as charter and free private cities.
So my Straight Talk family, they say it's for development, foreign direct investment. They whisper about sustainable economic zones like the ones in China, India, and Dubai. But they won't tell us why or Barbados wisely walked away from this proposal, or why Honduras repealed the very laws that gave birth to such zones. Why? Because they saw the risk. They saw the danger to sovereignty, to justice, to the rights of everyday people. Meanwhile, in Nevis, our hospital wing cannot be finished. It has been unfinished for 7 long years or more. In Nevis, our public debt grows every day. Nevis is on the brink of economic collapse, not because of any outsider, but because of the reckless borrowing and mismanagement of this very administration led by Mark Anthony Graham Brantley. And now, instead of taking responsibility, the Premier Brantley wants to use your land, your patrimony, to pay the debt he created. But it gets worse. While the people were left in the dark, the Premier's wife acted as a middlewoman between the investor and the unsuspecting landowners in south of Nevis. She negotiated deals without disclosing the full truth. She withheld critical information. And so arrogant is Mark Brantley that he said this about his wife. What a special lady she is. He said this about his wife.
But I have continued to say, my wife has been a licensed tax-paying real estate business for 20 years. I have a wife who has a master's degree. I am not really even focused on this talk about my wife. My wife is working as she's entitled to do. She's a professional and she's giving a service. And certainly if you have property to sell, I suggest you call her. She's very good at what she does.
Arrogance, my Straight Talk family. But who is the investor? We ask ourselves. We told you earlier, and we must repeat it, my Straight Talk family, that this investor, Oliver M. Janssens, is a Bitcoin genius, he calls himself, my Straight Talk family. This investor heads the Free Society Foundation. The Free Society Foundation, my Straight Talk family. And it says, and it's very clear, the Free Society Foundation is the process of realizing a libertarian and crypto anarchist dream. Currently, the organization is taking steps to purchase a piece of land from governments, hoping it will be the first truly sovereign country to exist. It goes on, my Straight Talk family. The project was brought to life by Free Society Foundation founder Oliver Janssens and other well-known libertarians and cryptocurrency figureheads. They said initially interest by surrounding countries has been positive and talks are proceeding smoothly. The announcement states they are in preliminary talks with governments to purchase sovereignty and autonomy over a piece of land. When started contacting governments, interest was much higher than initially anticipated, says Mr. Johnson, who has been working on the project for the past several years. Johnson went on to say that the project has $100 million from private funding and the plan to use these funds to get the country running. And my Straight Talk family, Mark Anthony Graham Brantley made his wife Sharon M. Brantley the go-between this citizen Johnson and the landowners. But she withheld critical information. She failed to tell the people that a major crypto-funded development was on the table, one backed by a so-called crypto king, whose close associate, Crypto Jesus, is now in jail. And if that isn't a red flag, then I do not know what is. This was insider dealing. This was misrepresentation, my Straight Talk family. And this, it may very well be illegal. And what of the land itself? Experts say it's unsuitable for a luxury beach resort. So what is this really about? You may ask yourselves. I'll tell you. This is about turning Nevis into a crypto principality, a haven for digital oligarchs, and a magnet for money launderers from around the globe. Is this the legacy we want, my Straight Talk family? And Nevis sold to the highest bidder. And Nevis ruled by not by its people, but by foreign billionaires and crypto fugitives. Roger Ver came to the cabinet some years ago and wanted and almost got the government to lean towards ensuring that the cryptocurrency became legal currency, legal tender. But my Straight Talk family, when the heat turns up, the Premier does what he always does. He changes the subject. He attacks the opposition. He points fingers at ancestral land sales from years ago. But we know better. We know he's been in negotiations since 2023. We know he's been coordinating this with the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. We know the truth. So to the Premier, I say this. You can run, but you cannot hide. You cannot hide from the people whose futures you are trading away. You cannot hide from the families who may lose their homes, their heritage, and their hope. To the people of Nevis, I say this. Our silence is consent. If we do not stand up now, if we do not demand answers, if we do not hold this Mark Brantley administration accountable, then we are complicit in our own erasure. But I believe the power, or I believe in, I should say, the power of the people. I believe in our right to transparency. I believe in our duty to protect what is ours, for our children and for the children after them. Let us rise, let us speak, let us take back our land, our voice, our future. Nevis is not for sale. Mark can run, but he cannot hide. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls now and your emails. And when I do so, and I'll do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us, my Straight Talk family, try to ensure that the things we say will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and doing those things, let us, my straight dog family, strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, I go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. I've dropped that call. Let's take this other call then. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night.
Hello.
Good night to all the listeners.
Yeah.
My name is Winston Welcome, and I have studied this transaction that is in the pipeline by Mark Brantley and his wife. Let me dissect some excerpts, some commentary that Mark Brantley made. And I need you to realize that we politicians are stupid. And if we were stupid, we are sensible now. First of all, yes, the deal was in motion from Long Point, the south side of Nevis, moving past New River. And mind you, be mindful, New River Zion. I am the oldest grandchild of my grandfather, Rufus Manners. And there is 1 acre land there. So, with due respect, you could keep your $30 trillion deal and shove it. Not for sale. So I'm standing up for my Manners family. I don't know about the rest, but I hope they will follow suit. And they already said it before. Now, Mark Brantley, he set up the deal so that deal can be closed by his wife. Okay? And his wife is said to be the liaison or the go-between. Were there any other real estate agencies that could have participated for making sales of that? But one person will be selling that chunk of land, which is 6 square miles of Nevis. Okay? And he kind of relieve himself and throw his wife under the bus. So he don't want to take no fall. His wife must take the fall. As Premier of Nevis, you are involved in conflict of interest. You and your wife are one. Your wife and you are one. So why everything is your wife to try to fall on your wife? Mark Brantley, we are not fools. Sometimes there are lands that you don't provoke. You leave it for Mother Nature. 6 square miles is a chunk of Nevis. Nevis is 35 square miles. Do you want to sell 6 square miles of that? You're out of your damn mind, Mark.
Okay.
You are all money hungry and you don't give a damn about the people. Nevis people.
Okay.
I already said what I said. Don't sell your land because it will be worse than what? And this one. With those kind of dealings which are shady and shysty,
Okay.
maybe into some drop a bomb in that damn compound.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
hearing me. I have more to say, but there are others who has their say too.
Thank you very
I
much, sir.
respect the time. Thank you, Brother Patches. And Mary Nevis people, help is coming over.
Yes. Okay.
Because
Okay.
I am subject to change.
Yeah. Yes. Sir.
From
Thank you.
wherever
Come
I
on.
said I will be to where I will go.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Decisions are
Thanks a
in
lot
the
for your.
making. Nevis, I shall help you with whatever force I have.
Okay. Thanks a lot for your intervention. Let's keep our eyes on the time because our clocks are running. Our phones are ringing. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night, Mr. Patches.
Good night, sir.
And good night, listeners and all the listeners out there. So I'm calling tonight about the SFZ, the special, whatever they call it.
The single zone.
Right. I wanna say that when my family and I went down to Nevis and checked the documents in the registry for several lands that my family owned, the documents was fraudulent. And several of my family members don't even have certificate of titles. And some of the titles was fraudulent as well. So who's responsible for making sure those documents are legit? And the land's not probated. So there's a lot of things going on. And I'm going to call names shortly. I'm just, being patient. I'm going to say everything because, some family members are involved as well. So some prominent names is going to be called. We're not playing anymore. We're tired of them ignoring us. Our family been trying to, scream and help for years. So I'm just letting the people know, in Nevis particularly, that we're going to call names shortly, and somebody has to do something about the fraudulent titles in the registry and unregistered LLCs in the registry.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you. So is there a will for the land of the property?
So, there's an alleged will. That will's also in the registry, and that's fraudulent as well.
Oh.
No judge. This is not even in the Eastern Caribbean court. We never got notified anything. This is facts. And like I said, I'll be calling names shortly, and someone got to do something about those documents in the registry in Nevis. All fraudulent. Majority of them fraudulent. We was getting pushed back in the registry when we went down there, and I don't know who's in cahoots with who, but I kind of think I know what's going on, and the individuals that's involved. Like I said, my family members are involved with this, some of them, and prominent people in Nevis. I'm going to call names shortly, so if they keep, playing around with my family's land, especially over there on the south side of Nevis, from Farms, Bath Plains, all the way back on to, and I'm going to tell my family's the people who sold Penny's Four Seasons, that the hotel, I'm going to tell that how that deal went down and all. So I'm telling, so I just want the world to know, and these St. Kitts and Nevis especially, we about to come out and tell the story and the truth. So,
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll wait with, how we say it, bated breath to hear that story. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear. That voice sounds familiar.
You can run with a lie, but you can't hide from the truth. It will catch you.
You can run with a lie, but you can't hide from the truth. It will catch you.
It will catch you.
Can't hide.
I repeat, you can run with a lie, but you can't hide from the truth. It will catch you. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening, my dear. You normally get in first. You got in third tonight. It will catch you. You can run with a lie, but you can't hide from the truth. It will catch you. That's our quotation for tonight. You can run with a lie. It will catch you. Yes, you can run with a lie, but you can't hide from the truth. It will catch you. And like I said to the people of Nevis, we just had a very interesting call about the fraudulent documents as it relates to land on that very south side. And I heard a story, matter of fact, about one of the registers missing from Nevis. I heard the story of the Attorney General apparently picking up the register or one of the, I think they call them folios or portfolios, whatever they call them, and took it to St. Kitts and it never came back. I'm trying to follow that story as well, my Straight Talk family. But if you just joined us, we are looking at the thesis for tonight. Mark can run, but he can't hide. And my Straight Talk family, there's something that we've been overlooking with this deal. And a very interesting perspective was advanced in relation to the land that has been secretly sold. And as the Premier said, his wife, Sharon M. Brantley, was or is the go-between. He said this, as your dog family.
My question is the basically, what should I call it? A list or whatever there is, a client relationship list between the developer and any firm to remove any perception of bias.
So you want a list of what? Because the developer is a company, as I believe it's called South Nevis Limited, and that company is working with my wife and others who are reaching out to people and asking people if they're minded to sell their land.
Okay.
So who do you want to see on that list?
Okay. So just trying to confirm. I don't want to misunderstand what you just stated. You just stated that your wife's real estate company is working with the developer to have the land sold or whatever it is in that area?
To reach out to landowners, bearing in mind, as I said, that the lands over there are private, and to ask them if they're minded to sell their land. So she's acting as a go-between between her client, who's the developer, and landowners, and asking if they're minded to sell their land.
The go-between, the developer. Who is the developer, my Straight Talk family? He got caught with his question. You know, as that quotation said just now, you can run with a lie, but you can't hide from the truth. It will catch you. And he was caught.
I don't know the name of the developer for
the developer. I am not certain what name the developer is going to go under, but I know that they're using the name of South Nevis Limited or Nevis South Limited, something like that. It's a company, a local company. I think it's South Nevis Limited. That's
a local company by a citizen, correct?
I'm sorry.
A local company run by a citizen?
Yes, the person has advised that they have Sinkis Nevis citizenship. Yes.
I see. And what is their name?
The gentleman who we have been dealing with is a gentleman named Olivier Jansen, Jansen. He's been the primary person that we've been dealing with, but he has a very large team running to probably 60 or 70 people working with him.
The man spent his Mediterranean holiday on Johnson's yacht, you know, and he there pretending, he hemming and he hawing as if he pretending he don't know this man. My Straight Talk family, it is now 6 minutes past 8 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. Perhaps I should look at some of the emails in the meanwhile as I await your calls and just dispose of my emails, because we do have some emails before they start banking up on me. I think I should dispose of the emails, like I said, at 8 past the 9 o'clock hour. And my Straight Talk family, where are my emails, I ask you? And as I try to move to my emails, where are my emails? But yes, my Straight Talk family, it's some 9 minutes, like I said, past the 9 o'clock hour. And we, as I said to you before, we are following this story. We won't let it die, as Brantley tried to change the narrative. But as I said, it was repealed in Honduras.
In a landmark move, Honduran President Xiomara Castro has outlawed the creation of special economic zones. The Organic Law of Employment and Economic Development Zones was repealed on April 26th. Called the ZA Law or the ZEDE Law, Castro stated that it violated the country's national sovereignty. It had also put the Guaruta Reserve, the Plarano River, Alpatuca, and Entre Rios at risk. The president added that joint work with local communities was necessary to preserve forest areas. Passed in 2013, the ZA law was heavily promoted by right-wing US-backed former President Juan Orlando Hernandez. It paved the way for the creation of special zones which were exempt from certain national taxes and laws. President Castro had pledged to push for its repeal as part of her electoral campaign. On April 21st, the country's unicameral Congress unanimously repealed the law. The chamber reiterated that the legislation had violated the Honduran constitution and its sovereignty. Special economic zones were given administrative, monetary, budgetary, and fiscal autonomy. They also had their own independent judicial bodies. The law allowed for these zones that were promoted internationally as charter and free private cities.
And yes, my straight talk family, repealed in Honduras. Mr. McMahon reads this email. I wholeheartedly agreed with you and others who were very rueful that the real opposition members, Harris and Sean, were not present in the House of Assembly during the last session to debate the zoning of the lands in Nevis. You see, McMahon, when you say one, you must say two. I don't know what a difference it would have made if they were in the parliament. Would the arrogant, biased, and boasting speaker permit them to freely make their contributions without interrupted by Congress, the favorite disruptor, and others? And I bet you, McMahon, even the three Nevis disgraced official opposition members would be criticizing their own on this particular legislation. I would have preferred the Division Deputy Speaker, Ms. Jones, to be the one to entertain the debate. She's more professional, honest, and fair to Sean and Harris than the incumbent speaker, reads this email. This email reads, Patches, it is so obvious now why people like Mark would not have wanted Dr. Harris as Prime Minister, because he knew he would not have been able to push him around like he could have done to Sean and Drew. What a disgrace for a premier, reads this other email. This other email reads, the registry in Nevis is the caption. I hope this email finds you well. I would like to bring something to your attention. The certificate of titles in Nevis are fraudulent. My family and I did a trace of some lands, and they have my uncles and aunts as first owners of these properties. Some of the properties are mentioned in the SSZ. My family members currently manage those properties illegally. The land was never probated. I will start naming names shortly, reads this email. This other email reads, Patches, good night. I wish everybody would write like this emailer. Bold fonts. I can't miss the words. Patches, good night. Tell the rattlesnake we in St. Kitts did not learn to drive in a parked car. Telling us the developer is division. Transparent snake. People who learn to drive in parked cars will believe that BS. The man did not born in Craddock Road. The man is a settler that entertained you and your Grenada wife on his yacht. You are relaxed, barefooted, and treacherous. But your snake and he, $5 stamp. Tell us which law firm does all the NIA business contract. Snake, tell us. You think we're going to get on board and attack Mrs. Daniel Hodge? Never, Patches. Snake has already his pocket the enclave, for them, white folks, is going away money. But I have faith in my kinfolk over there in Nevis. For they have a saying, where Peter be, they will say he walk way. Good night, Patches. Be safe, be vigilant, be true. Much respect and love. Read this other email. And this email reads, I would like to issue a suggestion to all political parties and independent candidates to refrain from attacking each other. Your objective is to concentrate on the incumbent Labour government and have it removed from the seat of government. Your aim and desire is to see them fall. The last election campaign should never be repeated. It was a shame and disgrace that all the parties and independent candidates fought against one man, the Prime Minister Timothy Harris, to ensure he was no longer the Prime Minister. It was the most idiotic, clueless, and stupid thing that took place, resulting in the election of these inexperienced jokers. Mark Brantley was the catalyst of the unfortunate episode, only to smile after and praise himself for the evils he had done. Now they realize and understand the mistake they made, acknowledging that it was better to be in government than to be out. Read this other email. A pleasant evening, Patches. Today I had cause to listen to Premier Mark Brantley's press conference, in which he clearly, as a drowning man, is grasping at any straw, as he is desperately lying to muddy the political waters, when he gave reporter Andre Huey an assignment to find out where did Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, leader of the NRP, was born, because the Nevis public is spitting fire and brimstone at the fact that his wife was not born in Nevis. Now, Patches, even though the Premier's motive is self-serving, is certainly tuned on the floodlight, or turned on the floodlights, as to the conduct of all politicians elected to serve, as we expect them to serve in accordance with the law. Patches, who is responsible for ensuring that when any person puts up themselves to be a candidate or is elected to Parliament, who does the checks and balances to ensure that the individual has not sworn allegiance to a foreign power or state? Lest we forget that Dr. Denzil Douglas was in Parliament with both a Dominican and St. Kitts Nevis passport. Sean Richards and Lindsey Grant had to renounce their U.S. citizenship before they ran for public office, for political office. Now, who is checking to be sure that PM Joe, Premier Mark Brantley, and A.G. Garth Wilkins are not holders of citizenship of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and Trinidad and Tobago, respectively, given that their spouses were born in those countries? In this case, if according to the Premier that Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge is a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis by descent, how can this affect her prospect of becoming Premier? And does it presently affect her as the elected representative of Nevis 11? If she does in fact hold dual citizenship of her country of birth and St. Kitts Nevis simultaneously, which is contrary to sections 27 and 28 of our Constitution. It is 19 past the 9 o'clock hour. I'll take these emails, my Straight Talk family. If you bear with me, I'll try to, as I said, dispose of the emails. What am I doing here? I am trying to dispose of the emails, my Straight Talk family. And this email reads, Patches, You see a pattern here regarding the snake ID, this Nevis lands. All of the parties involved have a name with an M in it. Mark Brantley, Sharon M. Brantley, and Olivier M. Johnson. This ain't no coincidence. The M earns money and more money. He talk about Tim amid watch and shoes. Tim can laugh now. God don't sleep. Reads this email. Janice Daniel Hodge is probably seeing the bigger picture here. Reads this email. Let's call her a private landowner. It is finally that same right that all of us divisions are fighting for. We all want development, but not at the expense of our sovereignty. No premier should be passing legislation that allow indirectly or directly for lands to be potentially locked away from the citizens of the country. The premier, not Janice Hodge, is the one elected to look out for the interests of the people of Nevis. And so when he comes with his distraction tactic, he needs to remember that he and all his associates knew that the land was barren for decades now, and none of them could have come up with an idea that would benefit locals. The best they can think of is to get in a position to sell off the land. People want land for agriculture. They say no land is available. Same way they could have identified a zone and put in basic infrastructure and let the local farmers and others try a thing. Not even that. So Premier, remember what you were put there for. Not to come tell us that Janice Daniel Hodge is an executor and benefactor. Because just as your wife has a right to run her business, our private landowners have the right to sell their lands. Reads this email. Shameful, reads this email. Patches, thanks to Facebook, Mark likes to post things often, and he put himself and his wife in the public court. They like boasting, showing off themselves on yachts, and knowing they are working with the investors. You come on my yacht, and your wife work on getting people to sell their land for them. Divisions, please stand up and be counted. Stop the selling of your lands. Shameful, reads this email. I'll take this other email as well. What the Premier of Nevis is confirming is that he has no homegrown development strategy for Nevis. All they do is go on their fancy trips with billionaire friends, make their backroom deals, then come back and go in the house to pass legislation, then come far after the fact to tell us in the house sittings is for hear the whole story, is to hear the whole story. Nonsense, reads this email. Yes, thanks for your understanding, my people. I think I have disposed of most of the emails now, and I can now concentrate on your calls. And I want to thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patches, I coming in again with round two. This is Winston.
I can hardly hear you now. Are you in your foxhole?
Yes, I have to sometime. But anyway, this is Winston Welcome. Manners, or Winston Manners Welcome. Manners in Nevis. Listen to this, Patches. Mark Brantley is attacking Janice about selling lands. But Janice is not the premier. Mark is the premier who hold the Bible during swearing in to protect Nevis and its sovereignty. So where does Janice come in He should be a bigger person, but you're attacking the little one. Are you a bully to beat up on the lesser one? Well, hear this, Mark. We don't accept your fraganaka bull, and that's nonsense. Leave Janice alone. Leave Janice alone and focus on the ill that you done. That is, I asked you a question the last time. I hope you have an answer for me, but I will yield for you to get more time if you don't. What is the penalty for selling out your people and their land? Isn't it treasonous? And what is the penalty for when someone commits treason against his country? I gave you my perspective already, but I don't know what you have discovered. I know you said you were going to do some research. Because these people who are hurting.
Well, I think I answered you on the program. I think I said I didn't want to speculate, but I confirmed that it was death penalty.
Okay.
Or capital punishment.
You did your homework, and I love you more. Well, Mark Brantley and all those who are in this selling out, you know the consequences because you are a lawyer. But I just need a second head, a second mind to confirm, and not just Winston Manners welcome to say this thing. This been there all the time. And remember, we still have the death penalty. And you can get it, and perhaps you walk into gate. But if you think you are Mr. Braveheart to continue your rhetoric and you're ill to the Federation, continue. Because guess what? You are not going to win this election, you know?
Okay.
Because NRP, Winston, and the Independents, PLP, and PAM is aligned. So, CCM and Labour, you are going to be drifting to nowhere. And to nowhere is somewhere.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. That's wrong.
We go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd. How are you this evening?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
No. Mr. Liburd?
Yes, you're live. You're live. Yes, Kaliko's aunt. I recognize.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
You get a call from anybody for the week? Did you get a call from anybody?
No, my dear, no.
Mr. Liburd?
I said no.
Oh, I never heard you.
I'm sorry. I said
well,
no, yeah.
I'm going to have to speak to the gentleman tomorrow, God willing, and tell him that I get in touch with you. He could give you a call or give you your number. Okay. But what I call is to tell you this evening. Yesterday made 5 months since my brother's son has gone. 5 months yesterday, mate. And up to now, no justice. Nothing can happen, nothing come out as yet. Like my brother's son was a dog, so he knocked him down. But that policeman never knocked down my brother's son. The 27th of March, a Thursday night like tonight. He's not going to get any rest on the peace. And I'm going to my brother's son grave. And I'm going to speak to him and tell him that officer that killed you. You see, and you know, if he kill you, haunt him. Or because no rest on the peace for him. Officer Jefferson, if he's listening tonight, I'm going to speak to my brother's son by his grave. And I'm going to tell him, haunt him. And that commissioner there, the backing up for him and covering up for him, the evil that the police can do. The evil that the police can do. Going back for the commissioner there. I'm sorry for him. Because God don't like lies. He said, speak the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And he gonna knock on my brother's son and talk about he still a walk. He not get no lock up, he not get suspended, he not get suspended.
Okay.
What kind of thing is this?
Okay, got you, my dear.
What kind of thing is this?
Okay.
Liburd, he ain't going down so. He not going down so.
Okay, I've heard you.
Not tonight, he not going down so.
Okay, my dear.
You have a good evening.
Have a good evening as well. I go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hi, Patrice. Good night.
Yes, good night, my dear.
How are you doing?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm good myself. I want to call in to say that Mark is like a ship out there in the ocean without a sail. He just drifting away because when the ladies, two red flag he raised. When the lady asks him about the investor, if the investor is citizen, he been advised. If you're going out to look investor to come in, you got to know. You tell them yes directly. Yes, he's a citizen by investment that you've been advised.
He see that the man's yacht.
Yeah, exactly. He'd been advised.
Yes.
Then the second red flag. What is the name of the man company, the investor company?
Yeah.
Or he think. Those are two red flags. You can't come to people and talking about being advised that he's a citizen by investment, and I think his company's name such a sort of thing. Well, what kind of thing is that?
Yeah.
And you talking about you going out to have town hall meeting? There's question out there to ask. Yeah, there's question out there to be asked. You're gonna come talk about you being advised that he's a citizen? And you think his company name? Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you very much, my dear.
Davis people got to open their eyes, and listen. There's two red flag mark put up for them. Advise and think. You're not coming out straight to them and tell them this is what happened. So they better open the eyes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Also know the name of the developer for
The developer, I am not certain what name the developer is going to go under, but I know that they're using the name of South Nevis Limited or Nevis South Limited, something like that. It's a company, a local company. I think it's South Nevis Limited. That's the
local
company
by a citizen, correct?
I'm sorry.
A local company run by a citizen.
Yes, the person has advised that they have Sinkis Nevis citizenship. Yes.
I see. And what is their name?
The gentleman who we've been dealing with is a gentleman named Olivier Jansen, Jansen. He's been the primary person that we've been dealing with, but he has a very large team running to probably 60 or 70 people working with him.
Yes, my straight dog family, go back to the lines. It's now 9:32. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Liburd, man. How you doing tonight, man?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah.
What's on your mind? Are you there, caller?
Yeah, Patches is still there?
Yes, you're live. The whole world is waiting to hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that interruption there, man. What's on my mind? I really can't even dispel. I can't dispel it here like I want to sometimes. Sometimes what I gotta say, it is not friendly to radio or any one of these podcasts for that matter. You just gotta listen. The previous caller pointed out two red flags. But guess what, Patches? I'm gonna just state it loud and clear tonight. I'm calling out the premier, just like everybody else. That that national address that he had, I don't buy any of it. Patches, all you gotta do is just listen. When you listen to these fellas, you can tell they're not trustworthy anymore. You cannot tell me you're doing business with somebody and you don't even know who they name and what company that they bring in.
You see that
and what they
he holiday on the man yard. This was me on the man's yard. He posted it.
Man, this stuff is insanity, man. And what's going on in Sinkis Nevis Patches, man, is something else, man. But I'm gonna briefly say, right, like when Four Seasons came, the property, the prices, the demand, it creates demand. The prices on the real estate shut up. If they get their hands on these 6 square miles, it's going to create an even greater demand for land in Nevis. The prices are going to shut up again. The locals, the working class, will not be able to go to work and make enough money to buy a plot, a piece of the rock. We will just become slaves and servants in our own country all over again. We were lucky to get our hands on these lands coming out of slavery. Now we are giving these lands back to these people, these rich foreign folks. Remember, clearly, Mark, we just got to follow Mark's trail, you know. We just got to pull up his report card. He already said in Parliament he want these citizens that acquire the citizenship from the investment program, the CBI. He already states that he want these people to come into the Federation. Man, based on the numbers that we know, and we've been hearing how much persons already got our passports. If these people decide to move into St. Kitts and Nevis, it's all over. We are already seeing the economic takeover. It's happening right in front of our eyes. Man, like Patches, you and St. Kitts, like some people are saying, just walk down 4th Street. Just go over on Port Zante. Man, Patches, man, there's so much to say, man. There's so much going on. This stuff is just, it's like a movie, man. Just sitting out here and watching what's going on back home. It's just like watching a movie. If it wasn't such of a great magnitude, all this stuff would just be like comedy, man. And I'll leave it there, man. I keep listening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for your interventions. And don't forget our quotation for tonight. You can run with a lie, but you cannot hide from the truth. It will catch you. That was our quotation for tonight. And this email reads, good evening, Mr. Liburd. Please let the people of St. Kitts and Nevis know that not long ago, Prime Minister Motley said in a public statement that her government considered private economic zones in small island states as downright dangerous. Prime Minister Motley resisted the temptation to implement private economic zones in Barbados, even though the island was in an IMF program. Yet, Prime Minister Drew and Premier Brantley sold their people down the river while trying to rob them in the process. These two bandits busy trying to line their own pockets while smiling and lying to the people, my Straight Talk family. Yes, he stayed on a yacht. This man's yacht. And then what? He made his wife the go-between, he said. The go-between Olivia M. Johnson and the people or the landowners, my Straight Talk family. He tried to explain to us that he do not agree with a multiplicity of zones. He said this.
You said last night on Let's Talk that the acreage has been removed from the bill. So, for example, it said it shouldn't be any less than 500 acres in Nevis and 750 acres in St. Kitts.
Yes.
Are there any other changes to the bill? How can we access the updated bill?
The updated bill should be online, but to be honest, my number is 662-6003. If you send me a WhatsApp message to that number, I can WhatsApp you the updated bill. Okay? But it should be available online, and that was the only change that was made. That was a proposed section 4.3, and that was removed.
Okay. Why weren't there any maximums placed in the bill?
Well, the answer that we got from St. Kitts, bearing in mind that this was legislation that was intended to set out a framework for both St. Kitts and Nevis, is that they had not had a discussion at their cabinet about a maximum. So they decided that it was better to leave it out and then come back to it at a later date if necessary.
Do you think that it's necessary to come back to it, especially for Nevis?
I think it would be useful because we don't want a multiplicity of these zones. And so for me, if you indicated that there was a substantive area, and so people say somebody with a half acre of land or an acre of land would not be able to come and say they want to develop a sustainable zone on that land. So I think if you have a large acreage, you know that you're really only going to have maybe one of those, maybe two could exist on the island of Nevis. And that was my thinking, but as I said, the federal government said they had not had the chance to discuss it in their cabinet, and so they wanted to remove that. So that was section 4.3, which did not make it into the final bill.
Yes, my Street Dog family, it's 20 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. If you join me belatedly, just to inform you that tonight our thesis we are discussing, I have titled Run, But He Can't Hide. And as a son of this soil, I made the point that I'm deeply concerned for the soul of our beloved island. Our ancestors toiled on this island. They fought for it. They died on it. And now, in the cover of secrecy, behind closed doors, our birthright is being bargained away under some plot, I call it, to establish sustainable economic zones. And my Straight Talk family, recall on Monday, Brantley made a national address and told us several things. I did not listen to his press conference today because you could easily anticipate what he was going to say. He tried to change the narrative, my Straight Talk family. But he told us what is his SSZ, we call it.
Now, what is a special sustainability zone? The idea of special economic zones is not a new idea. They exist in most developed economies in the world. Globally successful examples exist in China, India, Singapore, and in Dubai. In the Caribbean, these zones have existed in Jamaica from as early as the 1970s, and the Cayman Islands officially launched its SEZ on the 3rd of February 2012. Globally, these zones are characterized by significant tax incentives, dedicated infrastructure, and a specific legal framework.
But my Straight Talk family, he didn't tell us that Mia Motley spoke of the idea or thought of the idea. As that emailer said, while Barbados was under an IMF program, and Mia Motley instead abandoned the idea because it was going to be disruptive for her people. And my Straight Talk family, the social negativity that comes with it was not acceptable for Motley and the people that she leads. They never spoke about the repealing of the act in Honduras as well.
In a landmark move, Honduran President Xiomara Castro has outlawed the creation of special economic zones. The Organic Law of Employment and Economic Development Zones was repealed on April 26th. Called the ZA Law or the ZEDE Law, Castro stated that it violated the country's national sovereignty. It had also put the Guaruta Reserve, the Plurano River, El Patuca, and Entre Rios at risk. The president added that joint work with local communities was necessary to preserve forest areas. Passed in 2013, the ZA law was heavily promoted by right-wing US-backed former President Juan Orlando Hernandez. It paved the way for the creation of special zones which were exempt from certain national taxes and laws. President Castro had pledged to push for its repeal as part of her electoral campaign. On April 21st, the country's unicameral Congress unanimously repealed the law. The chamber reiterated that the legislation had violated the Honduran constitution and its sovereignty. Special economic zones were given administrative, monetary, budgetary, and fiscal autonomy. They also had their own independent judicial bodies. The law allowed for these zones that were promoted internationally as charter and free private cities.
And my Street Dog family, and speaking directly to the people in Nevis, the premier who was elected to serve you has instead chosen to serve himself and a billionaire friend with a luxury yacht and a questionable past. While you and your families struggle to pay bills, to afford proper health care, and to send your children to school, the premier and his wife vacation on a floating palace, I call it, in the Mediterranean, on the dime of a foreign investor. What followed was not just a holiday, but a betrayal. Out of the yacht meeting came a dangerous deal, an agreement to corporatize or privatize our land without your consent and without your knowledge. Let me be clear. No matter what spin they tried to put on it, this was always a sustainable land grab. They say it's for development. My Street Dog family, that's what they say. But they whisper about sustainable economic zones, like the ones in China, India, and Dubai. But they don't tell us why, as I said, Barbados wisely walked away from their proposal, or Honduras repealed the very laws that gave birth to such zones. Why? Because they saw the risk. They saw the danger to sovereignty, to justice, to the rights of everyday people. But meanwhile, the hospital wing in Nevis has been unfinished for 7 long years or more. Public debt grows every day, past $500 million in Nevis. Nevis is on the brink of economic collapse. You recognize he don't talk much more about fair share. He don't talk at all about fair share because he's seen his share coming now. But because of the reckless borrowing and mismanagement of the CCM Mark Brantley-led administration, and now instead of taking responsibility, Mark Anthony Graham Brantley instead wants to use your land, your patrimony, to pay the debt he created. And what he has done, he puts a go-between his wife Sharon M. Brantley.
But I have continued to say, my wife has been a licensed tax-paying real estate business for 20 years. I have a wife who has a master's degree. I am not really even focused on this talk about my wife. My wife is working as she's entitled to do. She's a professional and she's giving a service. And certainly if you have property to sell, I suggest you call her. She's very good at what she does.
Very good. As a go-between the last 2 years, my Street Dog family. The last 2 years, she has been a go-between Olivier M. Johnson and the people of Nevis who are landowners. He had this proposal for over years, then they rammed through a bill, and then comes back to us because he was caught, my Street Dog family, caught red-handed. This Bitcoin billionaire, my Street Dog family, he had to reveal.
What's know the name of the developer for
the developer? I am not certain what name the developer is going to go under, but I know that they're using the name of South Nevis Limited or Nevis South Limited, something like that. It's a company, a local company. I think it's South Nevis Limited. That's
a
the
local
company
by a citizen, correct?
I'm sorry.
A local company run by a citizen.
Yes, the person has advised that they have St. Kitts Nevis citizenship. Yes.
I see. And what is their name?
The gentleman who we've been dealing with is a gentleman named Olivier Jansen, sorry, Jansen. He's been the primary person that we've been dealing with, but he has a very large team running to probably 60 or 70 people working with him.
But it gets worse, my Street Dog family. While the people of Nevis were left in the dark, the Premier's wife, Sharon M. Brantley, acted as a go-between, a middle woman between the investor and unsuspecting landowners in south of Nevis. My Street Dog family, there's no limit or no minimum or maximum. As he said, that law was amended. I asked myself, how is that possible without going back to Parliament? Perhaps it is. But Sharon M. Brantley negotiated deals without disclosing the full truth. She withheld critical information because she failed to say that this major crypto funded development was on the table. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Okay, we're not hearing that caller. Yes, she failed. She failed to say that a major crypto-funded development was on the table. One backed by a so-called crypto king, Olivier Johnson, whose close associate, Crypto Jesus, Robert Veer, is now in a prison. If that isn't a red flag, I don't know what is, my Street Dog family. Because there is a Free Society Foundation founded by Johnson himself. How this does not raise a red flag as well, I don't know, my Street Dog family. This is really unbelievable. Really unbelievable, my Street Dog family. The Free Society Foundation founded by Johnson. A libertarian and crypto anarchist dream. Currently, the organization is taking shape to purchase a piece of land from the government of Nevis. We can say, my Street Dog family. But let's go to the lines and take this call. Call you live. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Caller. Caller, you're live. Just turn your equipment down and talk to the telephone. You're live. Hello, caller.
Good night.
Good night. Is that the Bible man?
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, Mr. Bible man.
How are you?
I am peaceful. What about yourself?
Oh, I'm wonderful, Pastor.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time, God is good, Pastor.
Yes, Bible man.
Listen here. When you go to sleep at night, and God wake up in the morning, you have the God thanks and praise Him, Mr. Patrick?
Yes, before you go to sleep.
Listen here.
Wake up, yes.
When you wake up,
yes, thank Him for the
you
morning
pray before
light.
you go to sleep.
Sure.
And you ask God to cover you with His precious blood, Mr. Patil.
Yes, I agree.
Now, in Psalm 91, you will say,
Lord,
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High
shall abide under the shadow.
Shall abide under the shadow of Thy mighty.
Yes.
I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge,
and my strength,
my fortress. In God will I trust.
Yes.
Surely He shall deliver you from the snares of the fowler,
noisome fowler,
and from the noise of the pestilence.
Noisome
He
pestilence.
shall cover you with His blood. He shall cover you with His wing. Under His wings thou trust.
Yes.
His truth shall be your shield and buckler.
Yes.
Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night,
nor the arrow,
nor the arrow that flieth by day. Mr. Patrick.
Yes, I got you.
The word of God says in 107 Psalms said, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for His good.
His mercy.
For His mercy endured forever."
Yes, Bible man, I got you.
He said, "Let the redeemed of the Lord say so." We had redeemed from the hands of the enemy.
Yes.
Mr. Patrick, every night and every morning, you have to give God thanks and praise.
True.
Because God is good.
All the time.
Let me tell you something. Listen here, yeah. Listen to the last one here. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse, I believe it is 5, you say. Here we say, the heart at 9. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart are deceitful and desperate wicked. Who shall know it? Who can know it but God? And so everything of the word of God says, Jeremiah says, you can all what you do. You come back on the plate. You understand the pattern? Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. Okay. And I am wishing somebody tonight that they will put their confidence in God and God alone.
Okay.
We are going to look after you.
Amen.
And I always say, and I can say this, one of these things here tonight for somebody. Now, if you're hungry, God is going to feed you. Okay. Just how He feed Elijah, He can feed you. Here is Psalm 37, verse 20.
Amen. Amen.
Psalm 37, verse 25.
Fret not thyself.
I was young,
Now I'm old.
now I'm old,
Yes.
yet I neither see the righteous forsaken,
All
neither seed begging bread.
Amen.
Mr. Patrick, this is somebody. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Bibleman. See, you had your summoning tonight, and obviously you ought to be feeling well. But thanks for that spiritual intervention, Mr. Bibleman. We always look forward to it. Sometimes you come in early. This time you came in late, but never mind. The fact that you came in is of maximum importance. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, let me get back in for a quick minute, please, man. Just going off of what I said earlier. We're trying to find out why is this stuff happening right now with the lands on Nevis. Is it because the election is coming up? Is it because these guys need that campaign money? The NIA Treasury is broke, bankrupt, heading up towards that $1 billion mark. Mm-hmm. What we got to look at, Patches, is a lot of these projects that's coming at Nevis. I'm talking specifically to Nevis. A lot of these projects that's coming, they are coming in the form of loans. So the debt is going to hit $1 billion in no time. Questions again, Patches. You have pointed out these partners. One of them is sitting in jail. The criminal part of these guys that's coming into our federation. Is this Martinez 2.0? And what we're seeing is they are entering from the Nevis side again. And you're saying something about referencing Barbados. Vehemently reject this type of stuff down there again, and Nevis is picking it up. Are we the dumping ground? And when these guys come into Nevis, are they going to make their way over to St. Kitts? Because this law is a federal law. Patches, man, we got to keep our eyes open and we got to stand up. We've seen this thing happen over and over and over and over, and the people are not protesting.
Yes.
And that's all I'm going to say. I'll leave it there.
Thank you very much. We're going to make one more call after this, perhaps. Caller, I'll make you my penultimate call. Are you there?
Good evening, Patrick.
Good evening, my dear. How art thou? I recognize
Good evening.
I recognize that voice. Sounds like the dimple lady. Is it?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. How are you?
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm good, God, thanks. I'm good. I'm good.
Good to hear you.
You can hear me, Patrick?
Yes, I hear you. The whole world is listening to you. What's on your mind?
Yes. I would like to know what happened to the heads of the state in this country here, between English and English. When so many things bad is going on that nobody put your attention to these. I do not know what to call them. Are them gone in this, so are them getting big pay? I would like to know how much your family now. Because she say nothing. She just stop this so get fat and watch not and doing nothing for nothing at all. What's really going on in this place? Children in this place, and none of them, not even the one upon the who come up and say nothing at all and what's going on in the country, but just drawing taxpayers' money. Come on, man. It's not nice at all. It ain't sound good. They better never happen. I would like to know if this takes something to demand from Antigua because it's for them to Catholic. Actually, you have a pleasant good evening. You hear me?
A pleasant evening as well. Good to hear you as always. And perhaps that's the way we're going to end it tonight in terms of our final call for the night. Maybe a nice way to end it. And dispense of my emails. Patches, July was on his favorite radio station today, talking nonsense as usual. But what is most disappointing is that all of the hosts at that radio station seem to have lost their senses every time July is there, not asking him serious, sensible questions, always laughing up with him. These are serious times. Our country is going down the drain by these worthless vagabonds in government. July and Mark, that snake Brantley, are traitors to the people and country, giving away our lands to their billionaire friends. The need to resign immediately reads this email. This other email reads, Mr. Jonel Powell, you're doing something very dangerous to the PAM party. Your friendly relationship with the Attorney General and his odious behavior in office is very damaging to the success of PAM returning to government. Your foolish post about the AG is your longtime friend, and in your opinion, the Prime made a good choice. The Prime Minister made a good choice in selecting him as Attorney General. Boy, Jonel, are you really serious? This man work made so much blunder that even Dwyer of all persons has called for his resignation. It seems that you are not pleased that Shani is the leader of PAM, and you are in disguise working against her. Jonel, if you have nothing sensible to post, shut up, for you are endangering PAM, reads this email. And I take this final email, my Straight Dog family. Good night, Patches. That's how Labour behave. There was one in Antigua which was to yield $2 billion in 10 years. They pay no tax, and up to today, not 1 red cent. Divisions, please don't sell your lands. The Barbudans have a landmark case, since the government of Antigua wants to do the same thing in Barbuda. And that's the way we're going to end it with our emails as well. And my Straight Talk family, as I said to you, we looked at our thesis for tonight. Mark can run, but he can't hide. And I leave you with my quotation as well. You can run with a lie, but you can't hide from the truth. It will catch you. And my Straight Dog family, Mark went to the Mediterranean, and his wife and himself holidayed on this man's multi-million-dollar yacht. And they seem to like yachts, because Sharon Brantley also posted on her Facebook on another yacht as well. But the Premier's wife, as he said, acted as the middle woman between the investor Oliver M. Johnson and the landowners. He referred to her as the go-between.
My question is the basically, what should I call it? A list or whatever there is, a client relationship list between the developer and any firm to remove any perception of bias.
So you want a list of what? Because the developer is a company, as I believe it's called South Nevis Limited, and that company is working with my wife and others who are reaching out to people and asking people if they're minded to sell their land.
Okay.
So who do you want to see on that list?
Okay. So just trying to confirm. I don't want to misunderstand what you just stated. You just stated that your wife's real estate company is working with the developer to have the land sold or whatever it is in that area?
To reach out to landowners, bearing in mind, as I said, that the lands over there are private, and to ask them if they're minded to sell their land. So she's acting as a go-between between her client, who's the developer, and landowners, and asking if they're minded to sell their land.
A go-between. But while the people of Nevis were left in the dark. For 2 years, Sharon M. Brantley, the Premier's wife, acted as the middlewoman, or to be correct, the go-between, the investor and unsuspecting landowners in South Nevis. She negotiated deals without disclosing the full truth. She withheld critical information. She failed to say that a major crypto-funded development was on the table, one backed by the so-called crypto king, my Straight Talk family, whose close associate, the crypto Jesus, is now in a Spanish jail. If that isn't a red flag, I don't know what is. But this was insider dealing. The Premier and his wife. This was misrepresentation. And it may very well be illegal, my Straight Talk family. And what of the land itself? Experts say it is unsuitable for a luxury beach resort. He told us they're going to put 3 beach resorts over there. Nonsense. So what is this really about? I'll tell you. This is about turning Nevis into a crypto principality, a haven for digital oligarchs, and a magnet for money launderers from around the globe. Is this the legacy we want, my Straight Talk family? Is this? And it's so arrogant is the Premier Mark Brantley. He said this about his wife Sharon.
But I have continued to say, my wife has been a licensed tax-paying real estate business for 20 years. I have a wife who has a master's degree. I am not really even focused on this talk about my wife. My wife is working as she's entitled to do. She's a professional and she's giving a service. And certainly if you have property to sell, I suggest you call her. She's very good at what she does.
Imagine that. Nevis sold to the highest bidder. And Nevis ruled not by his people, but by foreign billionaires and crypto fugitives. And yet, when the heat turns up, the Premier Brantley does what he always does. He changes the subject. He attacks the opposition. He points fingers at ancestral land sales from years ago. But we know better. We know he's been in negotiations since 2023. We know he's been coordinating this with the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. We know the truth. To the Premier, I say this in closing. You can run, but you cannot hide. You cannot hide from the people whose futures you are trading away. You cannot hide from the families who may lose their homes, their heritage, their hope. To the people of Nevis, I say this. Your silence is consent. If you do not stand up now, if you do not demand answers, if you do not hold this administration accountable, then you are complicit in your own erasure. But I believe in the power of the people. I believe in our right to transparency. I believe in our duty to protect what is ours for our children and for their children after them. Let us rise. Let us speak. Let us take back our land, our voice, our future. Nevis is not for sale. Mark can run, but he cannot hide. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many viewers and listeners, those who sent emails, and those who called, and those who just listened quietly in their own space at home, who looked at your television, your big screen, as my friend would say, with a little cocktail. I want to say to all of you, you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's Spirit, we will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until then, Be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. For all those who are going back to school on Monday, let's get focused. Young men, young women, your future depends on your education. Those who go into primary school, you only have one opportunity at the primary level. Those at secondary, you have one opportunity. Make the best of it. And remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. My family, be good to all whom you meet. Bye-bye.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul beg Him to take me through each day. My guardian to keep and my guide over every step I take, He will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Now I'm on my way with strength and courage from above. No man I'll fear, since God protects me with His love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, 'cause my knees I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind conceive that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, I gotta reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, I gotta reach the top somehow.